Hello, my name is Ripley. Welcome to the video.
Hey, what's up, schmucks? It's Christmas time now, which means Mariah Carey, eggnog, hot chocolate, and most importantly, realizing all the Christmas movies you loved as a kid are actually kinda bad. So before we get going, let me just say how this video is pretend sponsored by the G-Words Podcast. The G-Words Podcast is a wacky little podcast I do with my YouTuber friends. It's on Spotify, it's on Apple, and the links are down below. We talk about all kinds of wacky shit, so if it's something you'd like to check out, like I said, links are down below. Alright, let's get going. So, throughout December, I'm going to review one Christmas movie per week, all leading up to the movie I deem my least favorite Christmas movie. That said, I do intend to review Big Mouth Season 4, have a video on the movie of the year, and an end of the year special. So hopefully December can be a packed month for us. This week, we begin our Christmas marathon with a Disney classic, The Santa Claus. So let's jump right into this. We open with the most Christmas thing anyone could ever imagine, an office party full of sleazy businessmen and a pretty weak title card. Yeah, it changes into something more magical, but it's still lazy. We get introduced to our main character, Scott Calvin, as he makes his way home to meet with his son and his ex-wife. I genuinely think Tim Allen is really good in this movie, but not until later. For now, he's stuck playing the Tim Allen who's been trapped in the same sitcom for like the last 9 years. Scott and his wife Laura bicker a little, but then argue about telling their son Charlie that there is or isn't a Santa Claus. Scott makes a good point about children using their imaginations, but Laura doesn't want to hear it. But also, isn't Charlie like 7 or 8? Are 7 to 8-year-olds not allowed to believe in Santa Claus? Is that too old? I don't know. Also, this universe's Santa Claus system doesn't make any fucking sense, but we're gonna get into that later. I do enjoy this scene of Charlie telling his mom that he doesn't want to stay. It really highlights how Scott and Charlie have a disconnect in a semi-subtle kind of way. The only issue is that this never means anything. Scott is always around for Charlie for the rest of the movie, and no one ever mentions like, "Aw, geez, Scott, you sure are around a lot more than normal." So the whole dad-son disconnect thing is kind of lost on this movie. So after Scott fails to roast a turkey, he and Charlie retreat to good old American favorite, Denny's. Fun fact, I fucking love Denny's. My college professor used to roast me for it, but nah man, that shit slaps. I love Denny's. After Denny's, Scott puts Charlie to bed after reassuring him that Santa is indeed real and he believes, but he actually doesn't. However, earlier Charlie was stating that
seems kind of babyish to believe in that kind of stuff.
So this kid's whole Santa belief system is also all out of whack. Now the movie really gets going when Scott fucking kills Santa Claus. Now I have a few questions. 1. How is Santa not prepared for this? All these years and he's not prepared in case he loses his footing on an icy roof? Really? 2. Is Santa less durable than a normal human? Because I feel confident in saying that this fall wouldn't kill a person, especially if they landed in fluffy snow like that. And 3, not really a question, but this isn't a clause, it's a curse. Let me explain. So all of this adds up to 2 possibilities. 1, the elves sabotaged Santa so he'd fall because they were trying to kill him. There's no way they wouldn't be prepared for this, him losing his footing. Absolutely not. Also, no one grieves that he's dead. If anything, they're happy somebody else took the job. They don't really care that the other guy died. And the second possibility is that the Santa Claus is actually the Santa curse. This man is happy to be free. He waves as if to say, "Thank you." But also like, haha, you're screwed now, idiot. Also, throughout the movie, Scott turns into Santa and becomes nice and jolly and everything without free will or control. It's like a curse is compelling him to do it. I'm just saying, this man is cursed and the whole clause thing is just a cover that they tell people. So Scott and Charlie somehow deliver all the presents around the world on time, or they killed Santa at the end of the night and they just kind of finished up for him. Doesn't matter. I like this sequence. I think it's funny and whimsical, and it's full of that Disney magic that they so lack these days. After all of that, they arrive at the North Pole. The North Pole is kind of weird, with a bunch of child slaves running around, and the head slave, Bernard. Bernard, I think, is really enjoyable. He's also used sparingly enough so that he never becomes annoying, and most of the bits he's involved in are quite funny. Bernard lays out how the Santa Claus curse works, and sends Scott to bed. Scott fast travels back to his house, and moves on thinking the previous night was just a dream. This classroom sequence reminds me of the one from The Other Guys. It's just less funny in every way.
Right now, the streets are a bloodbath. And statistically speaking, there's about 30 kids in here. 10 of you are going to be dead before your next birthday. I can tell, looking around the room, half of you are dead already. The fat ones, the ones with glasses, you guys got problems. You two look like hookers.
Got a couple of tips. Help you guys stay out of jail. 1, try your hardest to not be black or Hispanic.
It's a good tip.
Yeah. 2,
Gentlemen, we got a Hopland, Hoyt and Gamble have Urshan hostage, high-speed car chase in progress.
Yes. Gun! Gun! Pass up the guns. Pass them up. Let's go, people. There we go. Anything? Any tasers? No? Good. Who wants to go on a ride along? Huh? All right, you sweetie. Come on. Let's go. Move!
Laura and Neil are still triggered that Charlie believes in Santa, but my concern is that it's clearly dark out right here, but when Scott shows up, it's daytime. Kinda cringe, bro.
Just because you haven't seen it doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
Yeah, well, I've never seen a girl who likes me back, and I can assure you that doesn't exist. Scott gets fat shamed by his coworkers and his doctor, and we get this scene that always made me feel a little uncomfortable. So this little brat spawns in, and she sits on Scott's lap, but he doesn't do a lot to prevent that from happening. He doesn't tell her to get off. But between this and undressing in front of his son, Scott really is a borderline sex offender. He also doesn't do much to stop the other kids from lining up behind her. Where are their parents? Why do they assume a random guy with a white beard is Santa? Why would you just go up and sit on his lap? Jeffrey Epstein is crying right now. He didn't know it was this easy.
Turkey, stop.
What? It was a joke. It was funny.
No. Shut the fuck up.
Ridley!
Shut the fuck up.
Ugh. You never let me have any fun. Laura and Neil decide to take Scott's custody away, but they also discuss how they don't believe in Santa and why. Like I said earlier, this universe's rules with Santa doesn't make a lot of sense. Like, adults would know Santa exists. For parents, it would be pretty obvious that you didn't buy the presents that magically appeared under the Christmas tree. But the thing is, though, is that the movie could explain this away. It could explain that when Santa comes and he leaves the present, maybe he leaves like a little scented candle in the house that's magic, and it puts ideas and false memories in parents' heads that they did buy those gifts for their kid. So that way, Santa can stay a myth, no one knows he exists and whatnot, but also, there's no detriment to people knowing he exists, because by the end of the movie, this whole town knows he exists, and there's no consequences for that. It doesn't make any fucking sense. Also, why would it matter if people knew Santa was real or not? It doesn't change anything. He doesn't commit crimes. He's not a vigilante. There'd be no reason for, like, authorities to hunt him down or anything, but it doesn't make any fucking sense. Let's just move on. So the judge takes away Scott's rights to see Charlie after Charlie tells him everything.
It's all okay. I told the judge everything about you and the North Pole.
But to me, that would sound like a kid who had a really great time with his estranged dad on Christmas Eve. So this guy heard that shit, and he still took my man's kid away? What a prick. So Scott shows up to say goodbye to Charlie, but ends up fucking kidnapping him. Also, why does the snow globe magically convince Scott that he's meant to be Santa? Did he forget about the curse that was altering his weight and his appearance? Did that just slip his mind? Also, I guess I should talk about this now, but Scott's growth in this movie is really weird. He goes from being a slightly rude guy to literally Santa Claus, but it's part of the curse. He's a non-believer until he gets cursed, and then after that, he gradually gets more jolly and kind. But it's not because events happen that shape his character. He changes because a curse is forcing him to. He doesn't have a choice. He doesn't choose to get better and be a better man or a better father or become Santa. He has to. There's no option for him. There's no real organic character growth. The character development is there, but it's not organic. It's forced. It's artificial. It's not as forced as the Batman v Superman fight, but it's still forced all the same. Scott's team of child slaves help whip up some gadgets, but this one I find quite peculiar. So yeah, the suit is fireproof, but his flesh isn't. So big whoop, the suit won't catch fire, but Scott definitely will. Also, what's with this hallway bit? It's really stupid. Who are they doing this for? What a bunch of fucking idiots.
I'm icy, I'm clean, I'm icy. I'm icy, I'm icy, I'm clean, I'm icy, I'm clean, I'm icy, I'm clean, I'm icy.
After that, we get my favorite scene in this whole movie, genuinely, when Scott revisits this little girl from the beginning.
You're fatter this year.
Well, thank you very much. You've grown too. You're a very good girl this year. But I want you to go back to sleep, okay? Merry Christmas, Sarah.
Merry Christmas, Santa.
I think this scene is really cute, and it shows how much growth Scott has gone through since the beginning of the movie, even if it's forced character growth because of the curse. I think this scene is when I truly saw Santa Claus and not Tim Allen being Tim Allen. His performance is good in this movie, and he is a good choice to play Santa, but his acting chops and the heights of his performance just take a little while to show up, but when they show up, they really do show up, and he nails his role. Later on, Santa gets arrested and Bravo 6 goes dark to rescue him. These guys are fucking crazy too. I watched the unrated cut of this movie, and I completely forgot this scene was in it.
Who are these other kids?
We're your worst nightmare. Elves with attitude.
After they rescue Scott, he and Charlie return to Laura and Neil. It's around this point where Scott gives a brief speech about family and whatnot, and I started to realize something. This movie isn't about anything. It's the story of a guy who wasn't a snob or a Grinch or anything, and he just happened to be cursed to become Santa. There are no themes of family between Scott or Charlie, as they never have a conflict that they need to resolve, or a theme of sacrifice where Scott needs to willingly give up something in order to become Santa to not disappoint the children of the world. This movie, it's just pointless things happening for an hour and a half. I know it's a kids movie, but if I held this kind of scrutiny to other kids movies, or even other Christmas movies, many would hold up. Laura burns the custody papers because if adults are stupid enough to believe Santa isn't real after presents magically appear under the tree every year, then yeah, I guess the law does work like that in this stupid universe. Also, Charlie just nonchalantly says he's gonna kill his dad and take power one day, so that's great.
You're gonna make a great psychiatrist one day, kid.
No. I think I'm going to go into the family business. I think I'm going to go into the family business.
What did he say?
And with that, the Santa Claus is over as Scott wastes precious time taking Charlie on a ride as he decides to not give England their Christmas presents this year. Which, I say good. Fuck him. I loved this movie as a kid, and now as a cynical college student, I think it's okay. I still really enjoy watching it, but its lack of meaningful plot and forced character development just doesn't really work for me. I do truly think Tim Allen and Kurt Russell are the best live-action Santas we've ever had, but they're very good for very different reasons. Kurt Russell's is a cool dude for the modern era, but Tim Allen's take is a proper jolly old guy once he drops the whole Tim Allen shtick. And once he does do that, his performance really shines. This is a Christmas movie I willingly watch every year, and it has enough solid jokes in it that I can stay consistently entertained while also having fun criticizing it. This isn't my favorite Christmas movie, and it's not the one I hate the most. That movie will be reviewed in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. In the meantime, thank you for watching, and Merry Christmas.